Have you ever lived in one place most of your life and missed some of the most beautiful and majestic places? During the summer of 2018, there was scheduled to be a solar eclipse that would be visible within a few short miles of a vacation cabin we frequently visit for family reunions. I must admit that my husband was far more excited than me. He was extraordinarily excited to see the eclipse. Once the designated time came, I was a bit shocked to find that all my family members who came to the reunion were content to stay at the cabin and not travel roughly 30 more miles to see the full eclipse. They felt like 99% was good enough for them. Not knowing anything about eclipses, I probably would have stayed with my family members, except for my husband and his insistence that we go to a location where we could enjoy the full experience. Once we arrived at the designated spot, we settled in and waited for the event. As the transition started, I marveled at how quickly the environment around us changed. I was used to the sun going down or rising. That typically did not happen quickly. This change was comparatively rapid. We were in the middle of a pasture where there were a few cattle. Even they recognized the change. They were mooing in direct proportion to the change. The cooler and darker it got, the louder their mooing got. From where we were located, we got to experience the full range of the eclipse. There was a marked difference between 99% and 100%. It's hard to explain. It has to be experienced. I now understand why people travel to see eclipses the world around. It is a marvel to behold. I think about all the things we miss that are around us all the time because we are content with 99%. The first thing that comes to my mind are relationships. Putting forth a small amount of extra effort can take ordinary relationships and make them extraordinary. That effort may require that we give up a few hours at work. It may require giving up some TV time. It may be as simple as sharing kind words or forgiving offenses which we hold tight. Maybe it means taking the time to truly listen to someone who thinks differently than us and try to understand their point of view without inserting your own point of view. In a world that is devolving into a place where people struggle with meaningful connection, it might make our community 1% better if we find simple ways to engage. You may have heard of long COVID. It is a condition where the effects of COVID linger for an extended period of time. I believe our world was heading down the path of social isolation long before COVID ravaged our world. Yet I still see lingering effects as people shy away from others whenever we get the sniffles. If you do not feel well, the first thing that comes to most people's mind is, do you have COVID? There is a level of anxiety that still lingers. Prior to COVID, we lived in a place where people engaged on a personal level, maybe 50% of the time, due to work from home and social media apps. With COVID, we moved from that point to almost zero. How do we get back to normal, or at least 50%? Have we reached that point? If those around you have reached that point, is it worth the extra effort to move to 100% engagement? What would that look like? How do we move from ordinary to extraordinary? Let's review this again. Putting forth a small amount of effort can take ordinary relationships and make them extraordinary. That effort may require that we give up a few hours at work. It may require giving up some TV time, or it may be as simple as sharing kind words or forgiving offenses which we hold tight. Maybe it means taking the time to truly listen to someone who thinks differently than us and try to understand their point of view without inserting your own point of view. In a world that is devolving into a place where people struggle with meaningful connection, it might make our community 1% better if we find simple ways to engage.